My name is Larry Chercasen. I was born on an island in the Aleutian Islands called Umnak, and well, that's the story of my life in the village.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that life looked like in that village?
Well, it was fall, not too many people, and I had a lot of relatives in that village, and that's about it.
What was your favorite things to do when you were a child there?
Playing with boats, with boats I made myself.
Oh.
And I like boats. I still do.
So, talk to us a little bit about when you were evacuated from your village. That's a hard thing to talk about, I'm sure. So, but we'd love to hear about that, Larry. So.
Okay. Well, we were bombed with the Japanese in Dutch Harbor, and there are a bunch of people from Atka that showed up in every village one day, and they stayed with us until they caught a ship in Dutch Harbor. But they were from Atka, and their whole village was burned up by the Navy. All the houses, the church, and everything. And when they came home, they had no places to live. And they were pretty unhappy about that. And they stayed in their village for about 3 weeks, and they put it on the transport ship in Dutch Harbor and shipped to southeastern Alaska. And my experience was, I woke up one morning under my dad's arm and my brother on the other arm, and he was running to a village, to the dry lake bed. And we had some DIs with us. Well, they spent the morning with us, and they came off again after after they left us in the dry lake bed. We came back to the village.
So you were with your dad at that time?
Yes.
And how old were you then?
I was about 8, and my brother was 9, 10, 11, something like that. But it was kind of a bad experience. It rained all morning, and my dad somehow found a chicken coop in a ranch that we had up there. And it spent the morning in the ranch. And the chickens there with us. And that was experience. It was, oh brother, chickens.
Yeah?
I got tired of the chickens. and the raining. I could see the rain on the windows, and that's all I did all day, all morning.
Just watch the rain?
Watch the rain. And Dad took us home in the evening, and we spent the night with the village. And we didn't sleep very much. Didn't sleep at all, in fact. My brother and myself were up and down all all night, you know. Then the village was just kind of isolated, you know.
So how old were you when you ended up going to the boarding school?
13.
13.
13 years old.
Uh-huh.
And she put me in school there,
Uh-huh.
in Monastery.
Uh-huh. And you liked that? That was a good experience for you?
Yeah, yes I did, kind of. except not having my family there.
Yes, right.
Most of us stayed in the school, and we didn't have a family with us. And that was kind of bad, you know. And I didn't much care for the school at first, but we had good teachers that taught us well in school. They taught us all the subjects in school. I stayed with the kids in that school. In the,
So you had like dormitories?
dormitories, yes. That's
Okay.
right. And all the girls and boys would live apart. But I enjoyed that once I got used to it
Yeah.
at school.
Did you keep learning anything about your other culture, or were you just taught regular school subjects?
Well, we're taught regular school subjects. Our culture, Navy culture, I kind of lost track of that because of all the excitement in the school. We had a lot of fun.
Well, that's good. That's
and,
good.
The boys got along fairly well. Some boys were kind of rough, and I had to learn how to fight. In the first part of school, and each of us got used to that.
So you weren't used to fighting.
No, no. We didn't fight at home. But we had a good teacher, and women. We had women too. They taught us.
Women teachers.
Yeah, they were teachers. And Mr. Ray Bell, I think his name was Ray Bell, he taught us pretty much about how to behave. And it was
Your manners, huh? You were taught manners? Huh.
That's an interesting experience.
So, tell us a little bit about what your culture was like. What was your native culture like? What were some of their beliefs and things?
We went to a lot of church services, and we went to an Orthodox church, and we're pretty religious, most of us. But the boys fool around a lot, you know.
Oh.
And
So you spent a lot of time in church?
oh, a little bit. I didn't pay much attention, unfortunately, but we taught our church, our religion in the Orthodox Church. But we behaved pretty much in church, and boys, we all fool around the church, and we got knocked in the head once in a while.
For misbehaving?
Yes.
So, Larry, how do you think it impacted you going to a boarding school? What change did it make in your life as a child to be sent to boarding school?
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed
Enjoyed
it.
it.
So for you,
enjoyed
it was
the
a good
school,
experience.
Yeah, and I learned a lot in that school because they taught us well in school. Our teachers, we have fine teachers in that school, and each of us behaved pretty well at school. we like our teachers.
Mm-hmm.
They-
So you feel like if you would have stayed at home, you wouldn't have received that kind of education?
I probably not education like it, but I think we would not have learned too much in the village. I learned a lot in that school,
Okay.
and most kids in that school learned a lot in school because we were taught well. The teachers were they taught us well in school.
Sounds like you had a lot of respect for those teachers. So
Yes, I did.
so you like to hunt and fish in your village.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty good at it.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
Yeah. I was raised that way.
Uh-huh. So your culture was mainly hunting and fishing and gathering kind of
Yeah.
a culture. And then what
And a lot of the kids that went to school in my school, the boarding school, went to, I've found them there.
Oh,
You know,
okay. So you went to work and then reconnected with
Yeah.
some of the kids from
Yeah,
boarding
I
school?
did.
Now, were the kids in your boarding school, were they from different tribes?
No.
No.
Yes.
They came from different areas.
African,
I-
Aleut, you know, Tlingit,
Mm-hmm.
and they were, there are a lot of tribes, different tribes in the school. And we had fights occasionally amongst ourselves, but
Yeah.
we got over that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they had little different beliefs and their pride in their own people and
Yeah, they were pretty tough,
Mm-hmm.
tough kids. And my school happened to be one of the first schools in that area in Mount Edgecombe.
oh, okay.
And it started young, and I wasn't used to that kind of culture,
Mm-hmm.
and
So at first it was hard, but once you
Yes.
got used to it, you sounded like you liked it.
well, I left high school when I was 17, and I was the youngest one in the class, of course. Most of my classmates were older, but they called me Little Breeze.
Little
And
breeze?
Little Breeze.
Because you move so quickly or what?
No, I talked a lot,
Oh, little breeze. Okay.
and I met a lot of the kids in that town that I went to school with. Some of the kids are familiar,
Mm-hmm.
and I went with a guy named Gil Mills. We went to work together there, and we did carpenter work.
Carpenter work.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Had you been trained in carpentry or
Yes,
okay?
yes, we were well trained.
So you learned that at the boarding school, the carpentry?
Yeah, some of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned that,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a pretty cool school, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the teachers were very good, and we learned a lot in that school.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't fool around.
Mm-hmm.
If you fool around that school, you were thrown out
Oh.
in a hurry,
Uh-huh.
because they didn't want school kids that fool around. And
So
that-
were you, Larry, were you on your own then at 17 when you started working? Were you pretty much on your own
yes,
then?
yes,
So
I
from
left home.
you left
at
home.
7, yeah.
Okay.
I spent a little time with our dad
Mm-hmm.
at home,
Mm-hmm.
but they shifted to Cotteview,
Mm-hmm.
and Gil and I were together, and I met one of my teachers in Cotteview, and I didn't have any other place to stay because they told us there was a room in the hospital. They had a hospital there,
Oh, uh-huh.
and they told us we didn't have room in the hospital, and we got to looking around, and we had no place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
But Gil had relatives in Kotzebue, and I lived in one of his houses there, and well, that's good. I had a house to live in.
Yeah.
That's really nice, you know.
Mm-hmm. So Larry, we talked a little bit about how some of your thoughts on climate change and how that's impacted your native area. So why don't you share some?
Well, I'd like to speak about the climate change in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
It's a favorite subject of mine, and I've spoken in church about it. And what I've been seeing up there, climate change, it's sad. It's sad. The glaciers I've used to be familiar with are gone now. I went to a glacier called Mendenhall Glacier when I was young. I was a teenager, and now it's receded back about 2 miles, and I used to be able to walk the front of it about maybe quarter mile. You know, now it's gone.
Wow.
It's up in the rocky hill. It's stuck up there now, and I couldn't recognize it. The first time I saw it, I walked into it, and I did that when we went to Alaska on a trip with my wife,
Mm-hmm.
and Mendenhall Glacier is gone, as far as I'm concerned.
As far how you knew it
Yes,
as a teenager.
I knew it. The hill is used to be a rock, a cliff. It's gone now. It's mostly water,
Hmm.
and people that go up now will find. I think it's water, and the people that live up north, I'm concerned about them because the animals are disappearing. The animals you're used to hunting for food have almost disappeared. The polar bear and the seals and the walrus are, I think they're kind of leaving the country. And I was very much in, oh,
It's okay.
I couldn't recognize a lot of the country. And I looked at pictures of a town named Shisharef up there, Shisharef, and it's disappearing. It's washing away.
Hmm.
And every fall, when the weather gets bad, it washes. The cliff are washing away.
Hmm.
There's houses going into the ocean right now, and they're going to lose that village eventually. They're going to have to move into the Nome, Alaska,
Hmm.
and
Sad.
it's sad. And what scares me is the fact that the ocean is eating all that rock away. That the rocks that lay that are along the shore
Mm-hmm.
have washed away,
Mm-hmm.
and it's too bad.
Just eating away at it.
It's eaten away. Yeah.
Mm.
That's not the only one. There's one other town that do the same thing.
Do you see any? Is there anything? Is there any hope? Is there
Well-
any way to at all change the climate change and make it start making a difference? Is there what do you see as being able to have some hope in that area?
Yeah, I really don't know that kind of experience I've seen. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the ocean is eating
Mm-hmm.
the shore away, and the Arctic Ocean is sliding into the ocean there.
Mm.
It's places I saw up there that that are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Cliffs have disappeared into the ocean, and they're gone. Some hills I saw there are disappearing too, going into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm concerned for the wildlife, the polar bear and the seals, that these animals depend on that, you know, and the people there have to use it for food.
Mm-hmm.
For some of them do, not all of them, but one day we're going to have an ocean all the way around that country up there. They have it now. They have, the ocean is eating away. It's being eaten away. So someday it may be gone. It may be gone.
So, Larry, on a kind of a different note, I guess, maybe you can talk to us a little bit about how God has worked in your life.
Well, that's kind of a tough subject for
It
me.
is. It's a tough subject for everybody.
And lately, I think I've learned to look up to God.
Mm-hmm.
This stroke I had didn't do me any good. And I used to be a wise guy in the past, you know, go to church and forget things in church. But now I find I'm paying more attention to God, paying more attention, because when I go to church now, I'm listening a little more, and I find I'm paying a lot more attention to what's being said, and I'm hopeful that I will be a better person doing that, you know, a better person. And that's about what I've learned about going to church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm appreciating it a little more.
Now, I know that you were a lay speaker.
Mm-hmm.
You were a certified lay speaker, and you went through a lot to get certified. How did that add to your life?
Well, it was strange. I had to get used to it, and I went up to Chercasen to our teachers were teaching me up there.
Mm-hmm.
I go teach with a young woman named Lana Wynn. We both went up there and went to what do you call it?
Well, like a training.
Yeah, training
Uh-huh.
training session, and I learned that a lot there. And I learned something that I saw in the the Bible I never saw before. It occurred to me to look it up. It's Jesus walking along the shore of the lake, along the shore.
The lake shore.
Lake shore. And I don't know why it hit me. It caught me. And I learned that verse, and I spoke it to the teacher, and I never heard it before. I never heard it before. And my grandfather would have been ashamed of me, but the old guy, you know, he taught church there. He taught the people in that church. He was a kind of a lay speaker or minister.
Your grandfather was?
Grandfather. And my father was too, and my uncle. They all spoke in the church. And my uncle could speak Russian, some Russian. My dad would speak Russian, English, and all that stuff. He was pretty bright. My dad was pretty bright. And I had to learn that all over again. The time I learned it was when I heard my aunt speak it in the church, our language, you know, and I knew what she was talking about, and I was really surprised, really surprised.
Do you think it's important for people to be able to hear God's word in their own language?
I think so. I think so. It's helped me. It helped me.
Can you think of anything else you want to tell us, Larry?
Well, we're going on a trip in a week or so, Alaska.
Going back to Alaska.
Alaska. I'll be happy to do that. And maybe I'll get to see some of my relatives that are buried in those
that are
places
buried there?
out there. And I'll be able to look at my cousin Susie, Walter, Robert, Elmer. They died in Water Lake.
Oh, in the evacuation?
Yes, they died in Water Lake. And a lot of people died there. There was 10% of our population
10%?
died
10%?
there. 10% died there. And that I was thinking about that. I think about that often. And I hope I get to see them again.
And for some reason you were spared. You lived.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know why.
So what did people tend to die from during the evacuation?
TB.
TB.
They were used to the climate.
Oh. They were moved to a different climate that they weren't used to.
Lived in the forest. And a lot of people died there. The old people and the young people. It was old and young that died there. And a lot of people died there.
A lot of your relatives.
Yes. And I was really worried about the Privilege people and the active people and the people that were shipped over to Japan during the war that became prisoners of war over there in Japan. And a lot of them died too.
Well, thank you, Larry. I think
You're welcome.
I think you had a lot to tell us and a lot for us to think about, and thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the hard work you did to tell us this story today. I really appreciate it.
Well, I hope it came out fairly well, Wayne, and just cut off what you want to cut off.